years and have a few kids. Sel and her husband had a baby 2 years ago. No major complaints, they just tend to ask for people to do stuff that I would think they'd do themselves. They'll come over our house, they live in our way, and they'll ask ahead of time if we have their kids' favourite crackers on hand. Why they don't just pack the crackers, I don't know. They are well off, money not an issue. If one of them leaves the room, they'll ask one of us, my wife or kids, to be in charge of the baby even if the other parent is right there, just scrolling on their phone or something. But whenever I say something to my wife, she says I'm being too much. The other day, we're having a dinner at Mill's house when the baby had a poopy diaper. Sil looks at me and say in the sweetest voice, "Uncle, my name. Can he change the diaper?" She frequently does this when we're there, but this was the first time I was asked. I answered politely, "No, I'm sorry, I don't do that." "You don't do diapers?" "No, I don't do other people's kids' diapers if their mom or dad is around. I mean, if I'm babysitting, sure thing. But yeah, if the parents are around, I just feel like it's their job." Still looks like she's ready to cry. Well, I feel selfish. I smile to try and set her at ease, not trying to make you feel anyway, just telling you a boundary is all. The table got really awkward as she got up and did the diaper. Afterwards, my wife blamed me for making Sil feel bad and said I could have just changed a diaper. Not trying to make anyone feel bad, but I AITA for making my sister's gender reveal cake grey because she wouldn't tell me the gender. I bake as a hobby, and I'm actually pretty good at it, like I get paid under the table for weddings and baby showers, kind of good. My sister is pregnant and wanted me to make the cake for her gender reveal. Cool, no problem. I asked her to send me the info so I could prep the inside classic pink or blue filling. She says, "Oh no, I want to be surprised too. Just make it neutral for the reveal and we'll all find out together." I was like, "Huh? So you want a gender reveal cake with no gender revealed?" She says she'll have someone email the info to me later. That someone never did. Deadline comes and I still have no gender. So I make the cake. It's grey inside, grey outside. Just full-on cement vibes. I even added little fondant clouds for effect. It still tasted great, but visually, grim as hell. The reveal day comes, they cut into it, and my sister looks pissed. Her husband is confused. People start murmuring. Then she pulls me aside like, "Why would you make it grey? That's so passive-aggressive." Calmly reminded her that no one told me the gender. I literally had no data to work with. I told her I wasn't about to guess or go full improv on someone's baby cake. Now my mom says I embarrassed her in front of the family and that I should have tried harder. Tried harder to do what? Summon the gender through vibes. So is AITA for making the most neutral reveal cake in history. Edit. I actually did follow up, asked her a couple days before the reveal if the info had been sent, and she just said something like, "Yeah, someone's taking care of it." I figured it was handled. I didn't want to pester her since she seemed chill about it at the time. AITA for making my sick husband clean up his vomit. My husband has been dealing with a stomach bug of some kind the last few days. Vomiting, diarrhea, nausea, etc. I've been taking care of him and the house and kids by myself because of it, which is a lot of work with 2 under 5. This morning my husband wanted to try eating something, so I made him toast as requested. As he was on the couch nibbling on his breakfast, I was making our toddlers their breakfast and feeding them when I hear him violently gagging in the other room. He'd been hanging out in the living room during this entire illness, so he had a trash can there in case he had to puke or whatever. I called out to him to remember to use it or to go to the bathroom if he thought he was vomit. He didn't listen and threw up all over the floor and got some on the couch. Husband then comes into where I'm feeding our kids and says he's gonna go to our room so I can clean up his puke. I said absolutely not. There was really no reason for him to vomit all over the floor, so he needed to take care of it. I had been cleaning it up all weekend already without complaining when he was getting sick by surprise, but he has plenty of time to prepare for this and not make a mess. Husband is now all mad at me for not showing him a good bedside manner. So AITA, update, never expected so many comments. Feel very validated. All day my husband kept making snide comments at me about not being a good wife, and anyone who cares about their loved one won't punish them when they're sick. So I showed him your comments, and it finally shut him up. I've received many DMs and there has been lots of comments about hubby possibly getting me and our children sick. Don't worry, the rest of us are okay. Husband likely got food poisoning from eating food that had been sitting in his work break room for nearly 24 hours. Thanks for all the AITA for booking my own Airbnb so I don't have to sleep on a couch for 6 nights. My immediate and extended family have booked a vacation for later in the summer. My aunt who found this place knew the owner, and they got a great deal. My aunt initially said there are 6 bedrooms, 1 room for her and her husband, my uncle, 1 room for my parents, 1 room for my cousin and her husband, 1 room for my other cousin and his wife, and 1 room for their kids are both under 10. The last bedroom, you may wonder, is where my aunt made an innocent mistake in miscounting. There are only 5 bedrooms. They told me that my boyfriend and I will have to sleep on a pull-out couch. I told my parents I would rather not sleep on a couch even if it does pull out. I also don't want to make my boyfriend sleep on the couch with me either for his own privacy. It's in the living room, which is in the middle of everything. I would rather not be woken to people starting their day, and I would rather not have to change in the bathroom each and every time or even leave all my stuff in the living room as well. I don't want to change in my parents' room either, because I know I would probably rush so that they can have their own privacy. I don't want to put my luggage in anyone else's room and fill their room with my clutter. Same goes for my boyfriend. I don't want to make him do all that either. My family has never had this big of a vacation all together in such a long time. I would love to be involved and whatnot, but I said I would rather not go if I can't have a room to myself, or I'll book my own place nearby, and I will pay for my part for the main house everyone is in regardless. My mom refused both options, as I will ruin the trip if I don't stay under the same roof. If I get my own place to stay, it would solely be to sleep. I plan to be with my family at all other times and events. I don't care about the price of only getting an Airbnb just to sleep. I want my privacy. Haven't mentioned it to my cousins or anyone else yet that I'm considering getting my own place as close as possible though. AITA told Mom she can bill me using the tuition money she stole from me. When I was preparing to go to uni, my mom confessed that there was no tuition money for me. Through the years my dad would give her cash to deposit, but she only did the first one. She spent the rest. Tape B, I wasn't even surprised. I was used to being disappointed by her. She promised that she would pay me back and asked that I never tell me dad. So for 4 years I thanked them for the tuition money while I took out loans. For reasons to do with her narcissism, I have an arm's length relationship with her, but she would say we're pretty close, as she assumes my smiling and nodding while she drones on about the same stories is a relationship. We have a family cottage that she puts above everything else. She lives there about 90 days of the year. I've been going there with my DF for about 4 days for a couple summers, which she begrudges as it takes away from her time. My dad supports my going, which is how I pull it off. She recently told me that it was time for me to start paying for some of the maintenance on the cottage since I use it. She actually suggested it, which is wildly disproportionate. I told her she could take it out of the tuition and we could negotiate the amount with dad. She was speechless. She texted me later to say that it's manipulative to bring up the tuition and to threaten to tell dad. It went on and on. I've been thinking about it, and first, I'm hurt offended that she can't just do a nice thing for me. She has to get something for it. Second, I guess I'm not really over the whole tuition thing. White of her bringing up ancient history and not paying her for use of the cottage. Edited to add, at the time, it never occurred to me that I should have told him. I thought I was doing the right thing by protecting both of them. That pretty much summarizes my childhood. AITA for laughing at my stepson and ruining his wedding. Throw away, shortened for character count. For context, I have been married to my husband for just over 20 years. We started dating when my stepkids were 5 and 3. Our kids are Adam 28 stepkid, Ben 26 stepkid, Charles 20, David 17 and Ellie 13. Adam is getting married at the end of summer to his fine Alice 27. We have all been very excited for them. All of the kids have roles for the wedding. Charles is the best man. The other 2 boys are groomsmen, and Ellie is your bridesmaid. Last weekend we had a dinner for my husband's birthday. All of the kids attended along with Alice. The topic of the wedding came up again, and this is where it started to go downhill. Ellie brought up that she was so excited to go dress shopping and that we planned to go to a bigger city in a few weeks to get her a dress, and me a stepmom of the groom dress. At that, Alice looked at Adam sideways and responded that we only needed to worry about one dress, Ellie's. Ellie kind of laughed and said, "What are you expecting Mom to wear? A suit?" Alice responded with, "My name, isn't he going? You know we are keeping our guest list very limited to only family and a few close friends." "What? Adam and Alice have been to our house numerous times for holidays, dinners, just to say hi since they've been engaged. This has never been brought up." Pretty quickly things escalated. The Cliff Notes version is that Charles asked them to clarify if they were choosing to uninvite me now or if I was never invited. Alice confirmed the latter. "Why?" Adam said it's because I am not his mom. Charles, David and Ellie argued with Adam and Alice that none of them were going to go if I wasn't invited. That it was cruel to leave me out given I've been his parent for a majority of his life and loved him like my own. My husband and I admittedly sat there for a minute just fucking shocked. Adam finally turned to my husband and said, "Well." My husband told him he wouldn't be going either. Adam then turned to me and asked if I was really going to let everyone ruin his wedding on my behalf. Here's where I might be the asshole. I just laughed. It what came over me, but the entire thing was just so ridiculous that laughing was the only thing I could get out. I told my husband I'd be waiting in the car and left, and then promptly bawled my eyes out. Anyways, Charles, David and Ellie are not talking to Adam. Adam called my husband yesterday to try and smooth things over. He was still adamant I am not invited and it's their wedding. He also requested I apologise for laughing at him. My husband told him tough shit. It's their wedding and they can invite whoever they want, but they can't control who will actually go. He said they owe me an apology and that Adam should be ashamed of himself. I am getting texts now asking what I did and why I am being a stepmonster and ruining the wedding AITA.